Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna be looking very briefly on Assassin's Creed Unity. And the reason why I'm gonna talk about this, because I ran this game on a benchmark for Full HD 2K up to 4K with 1080 Ti, and results were, not exactly where I wanted them to be, considering, 1080 Ti is way above the recommended spec for this game. So I decided to make a very quick comparison for just to prepare you people who are trying to buy this game on Steam and you're running the latest hardware, just so you kind of get what you will be getting, So Ubisoft's main site tells us that recommended requirements, we have GPU for AMD Radeon R9 or NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780. Now, when it comes to 780, I absolutely have no complaints about that card. There are some funny things about it, but as you know, we're running 3070 Ti. So let's take this away, just keep this in mind. So when it comes to comparison in between a 780 Ti and a 3070 Ti, obviously our GPU is way newer release than the 2013 780 Ti. Keep in mind, Assassin's Creed Unity is 2014 release. And that's the recommended because that was the king of all cards. You could max out Battlefield. Render resolution you could set on twice and it was running fine. It was amazing. 970 barely scratched the surface of this old king. So what do we actually have? And here, this is the reason why I'm telling you this is important. So when Ubisoft says recommended hardware, they're taking a shot in the dark and they hope it lands somewhere, right? Kind of like give you approximate ballpark. And honestly, I've rarely seen they actually hit the target. So when it comes to memory, 780 Ti, we have 3 gigs of video memory and we have 8 gigs on 3070 Ti. The only thing we lose is with our bus width, which is the transfer between the GPU and the board and the chip in terms of the speed. We are slightly below with 256-bit, which, to be fair, is still faster than 10 series card, like 1060, 1070. They don't even scratch the surface well. They kind of supposedly have 192-bit up to 256. I do believe the 1080 Ti Kingpin edition actually had more than this. It actually had 360 something bit bus width. But when it comes to the bandwidth of the card itself, so the base clock speed we have 1575 versus the base clock of the 780 Ti of 875. So that's, well, nearly double the base clock speed, and exactly the same happens with the boost, which is 1.7 versus 928. So again, almost double the base clock speed. So the funny thing is, looking at these specs, you might think, well, I mean, come on, it's an RTX card, it's recently released, 2014 title, come on, we should be able to max it out 4K, no issues, with headroom, just hitting the limit of their Anvil engine. Fun fact, not only the 780 Ti is still on sale, available from Amazon for nearly $1,000. It's actually more expensive than a brand new 3070 Ti, right? So that's not the fun part. Let's have a quick look at Assassin's Creed Unity. All settings absolutely maxed out. We're talking balls to the wall, as always. 4K native resolution, 60 Hz full screen, graphics on custom. Now I'm going to explain you why it's on custom. We're actually going to go in. So let's just set it all on ultra high. The game just doesn't like it for whatever reason. It was set on ultra high anyway. So we have MSI running on the upper left corner. Look at the frames we're getting. So this screen actually gives you a very good idea what performance you're going to be getting in game. Vertical sync we have off. In advanced graphics, we have everything on ultra high. Okay, HBO plus. Actually, this should be MSA 8, and this is why the game says it's custom settings. Actually, forgot about this. Look at the frame depth. Look at this. Look at this bad boy right here. It's gonna settle in a second. This is what we're getting in a game screen. Okay, so the game is telling the game engine this is what we're gonna be running. Okay, so I'm gonna try to back out slowly. And if you notice, we're running 7.7 gigs of video memory and 14 gigs of RAM. Okay, 2014 title, people. Let's hit continue. Give a game a chance to redeem itself, to pull its resources together, to render itself. We're gonna see the performance. I honestly did not expect to see this. We're getting 20 frames, people. I'm not even joking at this point. "25 frames. How do you like them apples? 22 frames. 4K ultra resolution. Well, ultra graphics, to be fair. It's not about the resolution anymore. You kinda you get the idea. I think it might be way easier for us to just get up there real quick. Are you telling me this is playable with the 3070 Ti? Look, the GPU, let me go into the darker corner. The GPU is pegged out at almost 100%. We're pulling way above 8 gigs, and it's offloading the rest that it needs in RAM, which is 12 gigs. 12 gigs of RAM. 16 gigs has been the sweet spot since, honestly, 2000, give or take 13, 14. 12 gigs of RAM, people. For what exactly? That is my actual question. Like, there's no way in hell you will be comfortably playing this game. You know, like that simply will not happen. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to climb something real quick. And come on, left. Not even gonna fight these guys because honestly I don't believe I can actually fight them at 20 frames. That requires more willpower that I actually have. But you know, we'll try. There's nothing to render here. Nothing! 22 frames. I know there's a way up because actually I was up. I accidentally fell down to my doom. But hey ho, I wonder if we can actually use a column. So we can actually get higher up. As it kind of looks like something we could utilize for ourselves here. And the reason I want to show you this this phenomenon, which is this game, is so you understand what this performance gives you in terms of eye candy. Now this is gonna be fun, guys. When I saw this, my question was, why do you even require this? As for a quick synchronization, as you can see, GPU is pegged out at 100%. We have amazing PowerPoint slideshow. This is all ultra, by the way. I know I'm gonna be repeating a lot of settings all over because I still can't get my head around this. We've played on this channel so many demanding games. And this one's the one that breaks it. It breaks our streak. What you need to know. Now, if we look down here, you can see that some of the rooftops are not even rendered properly yet. They kind of go, they kind of phase into the existence. For you it might be a little bit harder to see, but since I know where I'm looking, I kind of expect to see this behavior all around. So what can we do for you to actually get a nice frame rate? Now, this is a thing I highly recommend anyone to actually do, right? You go down to the graphics. You go all the way to advanced graphics. Turn anti-aliasing quality off. Literally. None of it. See what happens. Look at the frames we suddenly gained. Way above 60. So the problem is, when you actually go into the game, into the options of the game, and obviously what you're gonna do, you go to the graphics, you go for the graphics quality, and if you set it on ultra high, and you have to follow me here, and if you go into advanced settings, you will see that anti-aliasing is automatically done with the MSA 4 times. So what it does, it is multi-sampling anti-aliasing. So it takes the picture and it basically blows it up 4 times. So if you're playing in 4K or you're playing in 2K, I think you can do the math times 4 with the resolution you're doing. I'm not saying that's exactly accurate. It's not exactly accurate, but we're talking that you have, the game is basically trying to apply anti-aliasing on every object within your current viewport, which is the resolution you're playing. So basically it needs to kind of go over twice. So what do we get with this? Great. 52, 54. So at this point the 3070 Ti is breaking a sweat already, because it needs to take everything it sees, which is already rendered because we're on top of the world here, and it needs to work its ass off to actually give this anti-aliasing effect. Will you see it in 4K or even 2K? Absolutely not. Will you see it in 1080p? Highly doubt it. But when it comes to a thing like, what do you prefer more? Stable FPS or a little bit less jagged edge on a game that actually doesn't even look that good? In all honesty, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good for you to sacrifice your frames or a good chunk of it. Turn that stuff off. Well, obviously you might say, hey, you're flexing 3070 Ti. This been tried with a 1080 Ti as well. Playing on 2K, I actually played in 2K in co-op with my friend, and honestly that saved the day. We were getting, I would say, 60-ish, like 62, sometimes up to 70. We did a stream together, everything was kind of fine. You know, the games sometimes do stutter when you enter a new area anyway. But honestly, I do believe, guys, this will actually be much more worth your time and money to just apply this. Also, we're gonna be actually down on a street level. It's much faster than just jumping off here. At least last time I ended up on a street level. There we go. So now on a street level. Way too many NPCs, but at least we are within 60 frames. Right, so 60-ish. Now obviously I'm recording and, you know, oh my god, I'm losing frames. It's not that bad, right? So this is, if you want to stream this game, if you want to play this game, this is roughly what you're gonna get. Little frame drop right there, 57 frames, but altogether this is what you're gonna see. Is it worth cranking this game's settings to the ultra high for this? I don't know. You tell me. You be the judge of it. Because in all honesty, if we change this game's graphical settings to, let's say, high, if I wouldn't tell you, let's say high, if I didn't tell you that I'm actually playing on high, I highly doubt you would actually notice. Because I do not see any real difference. At least not for my eye, but then again, I am a little bit blind. So yeah, can you max this game out with 3070 Ti and get good frame rate? No. Can you make this game out with any other GPU and by adjusting the settings have a good experience? Absolutely yes. Don't forget, this game is currently on a Steam sale for about £6. So the co-op servers are still running, they're still glitchy. It's still possible to play in co-op. It's gonna take you a little bit of tinkering around and stuff like this, but apart from that, you know, it's not really gonna be that bad. I just wanted to show you this, guys, because, you know, I know that a lot of people like Unity. I know. And to be fair, we waited so long. We waited so long for this game to be playable. You know, maybe we're older, we get more money, get better hardware, you know, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's about, you know, having fun, really, but damn. If this is what you get with the almost top tier cards, adjust some settings. Write Ubisoft a letter. Anyway, that's all I had for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Leave a comment down below. What settings you use for Unity? Do you play co-op? What GPU you running? Also, what frames you're getting? You know, let's have the conversation started. Have a good one.